Hello, my name is Dylan P, and for Dylan's Bucket of Figures, we have today the king of the monsters himself, Godzilla, in figure form, made by SH Monster Arts or Bondi Spirits. Thank you, them. If you want to buy this figure yourself, some notable places to buy him from are BigBadToyster.com or AwesomeCollector.com. He ranges from about $80 to $75 nowadays, and he is very popular in demand. If you want to buy this figure, you have to buy him before he gets in stock. People want him, and they want him bad. Anyways, if you don't care about all that, and you're here for what everyone's here for, we have the figure, Godzilla. And right off the bat, I just have to say, this guy looks amazing. Look at that shiny blue metallic paint job on the spines. It actually goes all the way down to the tip of his tail, if you can see that. His skin also has a nice, rough, animalistic texture. And even look in his neck, you can see gills. They really did try to go for a more animalistic design with the newer Godzilla, and they did really well, in my opinion. I like it. And while this paint job isn't perfect, we're not going to talk about that mouth of his where it looks like he put too much toothpaste in, I still think it's amazing. And I love it. And now I just want to say real quick, this guy also looks really evil. I mean, look at that. Look at how menacing he is. I'm sorry for angering you, Godzilla. Just have my lunch money. But anyway, jokes aside, they did try to make him look even more evil for this version of the figure. Yes, there are previous versions of this design. I'm not going to talk about how similar they are. Don't say anything. But they did a good job of making him look evil. You can see it from his facial expression to his claws. He really does look like the villain he's meant to be from Godzilla vs. Kong. Now with design out of the way, let's get into what this guy can really do. Now going into his movement capabilities. At his feet have a little swivel there. They can bend back that far, and they can bend forward that far. He has a little bit of a pivot, but not too much. His legs can turn forward that far, and his legs can bend backwards that far. His legs can also rotate back that far, and they can rotate forward that far. Both legs have a spread, but for some reason, his left leg spreads more than his right leg. I don't know if that's intentional or just my copy of the figure, but it doesn't affect too much. It's just kind of there. Makes him more posable on that side a lot of the times, but this side also works too. For his tail, each little gap there is where a ball joint is connecting a different piece of the tail. So that means that the tail can bend around a lot from all the way around each different section. It gets less mobile towards the very beginning or end. I was gonna say beginning of the tail. And the chest / back of the figure can bend a little bit there, not too much. And then once you start going up, you see more bendability there. And you get to the neck. That section right there does not move a lot. But then his neck does a lot. His head also has opening and closing jaw. You gotta push it a little bit to close it, and then you gotta pull it a little bit to open it back up. And then at his arms, they can rotate back that far. They can rotate forward that far. And his arms can move that, just forward, a little bit squeaky. His wrists have a swivel, and his wrists can bend forward. Oops, yikes. I've been having that problem recently with him. He has had his arms bend, or his hands bend a little bit too much, and they start to pop out. This is just a thing from wear of use, but they can bend like that. Godzilla here has overall great posability, but the best part about him is all the poses you can get him into. using his claws to make him look menacing, raising up his neck to make him roar. Oh, this guy is fun to just pose around and play with. I know he's a $70 figure that you're gonna keep in a glass case and don't touch it all, but I can't help myself. He's just so fun to mess around and play with. But in the very end of things, he does come with some problems. The paint job is amazing, as I've said before, but we all know the mouth isn't that great. And if I have to be honest, the spines, they're trying to go for a vibe of, let's say blue were to glow through my fingers, the lining on my finger, or my fingerprint would kind of stop that. Would stop blue from just illuminating all around my finger. And they try to go for that vibe with the spines. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not amazing. It looks a little bit messy when they were trying to go for that. And as you've seen before, his hand did pop out. This figure is not safe from wear, sadly. His mobility and posability becomes loose as time goes on, but it still works in the very end. And to wrap it all up, now I want to give this guy a rating. Out of which 3 judges do I agree with? Prowl over there, the cop car, my Velociraptor buddy over there with the 9, or the other Godzilla with the 7? Personally, I gotta agree with this guy. I love this figure too much. He's fun to play with, he looks amazing, and I have spent hours just messing around, seeing what new pose I can come up with next. Overall, he is one of my favorite figures to my collection, and I highly recommend that you get him. This is episode 1 of Dylan's Bucket of Figures, and I'll see you next time.